What's up, everybody? How's it going? Surfy, welcome. Welcome in. We got some stuff to talk about today. We do. We are deving, but we do have some stuff to talk about. One thing I forgot to do, I want to show my screen over here. I had time today to get everything set up. I feel so organized right now. Everything's right where it's supposed to be. I even got some music going, which hopefully y'all can hear, and I can turn down if it's too loud. Cool. So yeah, we got some stuff today. What's up, Levi? Welcome in. How's your day been? I just now realized it was Thursday. I think I thought it was Wednesday for most of the day today, and I was like, oh, I don't have near as much until the weekend as I thought I did. My parents are coming in town this week, so we're gonna hang out. They live down in South Georgia, so they don't come up as often, or they don't get to see the kid as often as they would like. So yeah, it'll be fun. Yeah, you guys get to show up twice on this screen. over there and over there, over there and right there. I'll get it one of these days. I need to mirror that screen somehow. One of these days I'll do it. We got a good start on a new small project. Very nice. What's up, Gridstone? Welcome in. What kind of project are you making, Levi? Is it a VR project? I assume it's a VR project, but is it a VR or is it something else? Gridstone, what was your model for the day? Did you build a model today? I didn't look in the school group yet. I did add your axe to the project, so we'll play around with that today. You're building a horror maze game. So the thing is, I am a big wimp when it comes to horror. I do not enjoy it. So if I play horror games, especially in VR, I can't watch horror movies. I have to watch horror movies through my hands like that. So I don't see the, I'll do this so I can see the top edge and the sides of the TV, but I don't see the middle where all the jump scares happen. So I can still understand what's going on, but I just see the edges of the screen. I don't know. I'm a big wimp when it comes to horror stuff. What's up, No Sleep Kid? You're always around. You're quick. Welcome in, everybody. We got some stuff to talk about today. I want to talk about something that's happened in the VR space, and I want to understand I want to know what you guys think about it as well, because it's potentially very big and potentially detrimental to the VR industry. We'll see. Glorified Misfit, just in case you recognize the username. Oh yeah, okay, nice. Yeah, you got a different username over there. I actually thankfully got Justin P. Barnett as my username pretty much everywhere. I think Facebook is the only one that I don't have literally Justin P. Barnett as just my username. I think everywhere else it's just Justin P. Barnett, which is very nice. You're just browsing YouTube for dev streams? Of course. What are the best dev streams that you've seen so far, No Sleep? Is it specifically Unity stuff that you're looking for, or is it just any kind of dev like the Primogen or something like that? Because he's got a really good stream. Hilarious. absolutely hilarious, and he's a wizard with code. He's the reason I started doing the Vim motions and everything, is just watching him and being like, okay, that's amazing. That is super, super cool. Oh yeah, GDG, he's sweet. He's awesome. He doesn't stream too much though. He streams like once a week, or is he getting pretty regular again? Game dev guide for all of those of you who don't know GDG. He makes really good Unity tutorials. Really, really good with Unity. And me, I appreciate that I'm in the list. Started using C# for your code, still having a hard time learning it though. It is C# when you're first getting started, or honestly just coding in general, is tough. The kind of logic that you have to understand, where you have to break everything down into super, super small chunks and tell that to the computer, and you can't miss a single thing. And honestly, a lot of it, the biggest part for me when I was learning it was, what words can I use? Like, what words am I allowed to use? And then where do all the brackets and parentheses and all that kind of stuff go? Because that always confused the heck out of me too. The learning curve isn't just linear, it's very difficult. Yes, it is. You can get the basics pretty quick, like the for loop and if statements and that kind of stuff, like super, super simple, just programming logic paths in general. But then when you get past that, that's where things start to get tough. Like, okay, how do I do this weird abstract thing? Or how do I call out to a website somewhere else? Like get an API call, that kind of stuff. You're like, oh, this is totally different. And this is a lot more complex. Yeah, it gets a little crazy. Sweet. How many people we got in so far? I am always curious about this. All right, so I want to talk about something. We need to talk about meta. Meta's the problem. So, yeah. Oh yeah. Bracky's old videos are really good. Yeah, he's doing Godot now, but Bracky's old videos are actually really good. This is what we're talking about right here. Let me go over to YouTube and we'll look up Bracky's. His old, so Unity beginner tutorials are solid. These are really nice, really good. And then the C# playlist. So Bracky's also has C#. This one, so how to program in C# is also really good for just basic C# knowledge, and then it's Unity specific too, so you'll get some Unity commands and like Unity loops and stuff in there, which is very helpful. Not quite centered. My camera is not quite on the center of my not quite in the center of my desk, which is annoying. It's bugging me because I'm so OCD. But let's go back to this. So this is what I want to talk about today. The meta. The meta is interesting. So Meta is going to give $50 million to the top. Hold on, I have to stop the music. This is serious. Meta will give $50 million to the top Horizon Worlds creators. So Meta just announced this today, that they're going to give $50 million to people who make stuff in Horizon Worlds. They also announced today that they are developing their only, or it's actually out now, basically their own game engine. So they're turning away from Unity, turning away from Unreal, any of that, and they have made their own engine that will be able to build Horizon Worlds games. And they're basically going all in on this Roblox clone is effectively what they're trying to do. This VR world Roblox thing. Like they also want it to be mobile, but for some reason they're starting in VR and then they're trying to branch out into just mobile, and it's interesting. So we're gonna go through and read this, and I want y'all's opinion because it's wild. Meta is going to give out a total of $50 million to creators for the most fun and engaging Horizon World experience. These Meta Horizon Creator Fund payments will be tied to world contributions over the overall ecosystem across time spent, retention, and in-world purchases. So there are a variety of different ways for creators to maximize their earnings. So it doesn't seem like it's just going to be like a outright payment of like, okay, good job, you did a world, here's $1 million. It's going to be like based on literal, like almost like ad revenue. Like YouTube will pay you for time and attention and views and all that kind of stuff, and like give you a certain payout based on, you know, what category you're in and that kind of stuff. It seems like that's what's going on here. So they're dedicating like a $50 million budget to this kind of thing. And so separately, Meta is also launching a $1 million mobile focused competition on March 11th. So back in 2021, Meta launched a somewhat similar $10 million creator fund when rebranding the platform from Facebook Horizon to Horizon Worlds. And in 2022, it launched a smaller $50,000 fund for unique, innovative, and engaging worlds. And the new Horizon Creator Fund dwarfs both previous efforts and arrives amid significant concerns about Meta's focus on Horizon Worlds apps over the store apps. So I don't know if you've seen, but there's been some drama in the VR space lately. The craziness with Meta basically putting like clones, like, so there's people who have seen Gorilla Tag clones showing up in the store, Horizon Worlds Gorilla Tag clones showing up in the store before the actual Gorilla Tag app itself. And there's been several studios who have had to go and close down because they're not seeing the regular monthly revenue that they've been used to because they are not getting money, basically. And so now Meta is kind of doubling down on this negative attention and saying, okay, well, Horizon Worlds is still the thing, and it's still the thing that we're focused on, and we don't really care about the native apps themselves. Like, we want Horizon Worlds apps. We don't want we don't want the third-party apps. So the Horizon Creator Fund announcement comes just as Meta launched the Horizon desktop editor. So that's what we're just talking about, in early access. So it lets creators use their PC to import assets and write TypeScript to build high fidelity worlds and complex game logic. And Meta is also enabling Horizon Worlds in-world monetization features, which lets world creators charge for items and experiences in 18 new countries from Monday. All these different countries you can buy things in. So they're basically trying to create Roblox. They want their own Roblox. And you're planning on using the Meta Horizon Store App Lab. So like you can go in and apparently build stuff in TypeScript now in their own. So I'm curious, is this something that is interesting to you guys, or are you still interested in just building your own standalone app? Or is it kind of just like, okay, let's take the path that Meta actually wants us to go down, because they are absolutely promoting a certain path and they don't seem to want people making apps on Unity, they're like their own standalone apps that they can publish to the Meta Store. They want people making Horizon Worlds and being able to basically do stuff in there, like creating your own theme park, or what we're doing right now with creating the actual county fair. Build that in Horizon Worlds. Maybe I should go and do that, and maybe I should go and build this county. That would actually be interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. Like, what would it take to build this, what we're building here, in Horizon Worlds in TypeScript? So we'd have to go and recode everything, which would be really annoying. But I would be able to bring in all the assets. I would be able to. It's TypeScript. It's a pretty simple programming language. It's easier to learn than C#, and be able to recreate all of this and see what the difference is. And also see if it was actually popular, go through the whole process of uploading a Horizon Worlds world. And I might try that. That is interesting. So now that we're talking about it, I might just to do it for you guys. I did it so you guys don't have to. I think that may be what we end up doing. You're interested in building a standalone app, make your own app. Always lean towards making your own independent app. Yeah, because I mean, so right now, see, the problem is it's a huge market share. Like the amount of market share that the Quest environment that Meta has is wild. It's over 90%. It's probably 95% of headsets out there. So if you want to make something that's going to actually make money, like in VR specifically, then you have to target the Quest. Like you could do PC VR and still like make okay money, but it's not. PC VR will get you like 5 to 10% what you would have made if it was a Quest standalone app. So I don't know. Will this be a downturn? I've been arguing with people on Twitter. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, you should go follow me on Twitter, because it's been a wild last half of a day. I've been being a little spicy over in Twitter, seeing what people think. And I honestly think the best thing that Meta could do for VR is to shut down Horizon Worlds. I think if we got rid of Horizon Worlds and they just focused on a content distribution platform like Steam has with the PC market, if Meta did that with their Quest devices and treated it like a console, I think they could do really, really well. But they don't want to go down that road. They want their own Roblox. They want a closed ecosystem. So interesting. It is mostly so that I don't know everything that's in my code. I usually end up making my own thing rather than use what the standard. So it's not great in that way. It might be interesting I would be curious to see what the tools are for this app. I should make a video about it. I had to do that tomorrow. Oh, that's another thing. So if you are a regular to my streams, we are, instead of doing every single day now, I'm going to drop back to every other day. Basically, we'll do 3 times a week. So I'm going to do Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays evenings at 8 p.m. Eastern, because I want to get back to keep the main thing. I want to make my tutorials on the other days. And I just don't have the time to stream. I really, really enjoy streaming and it's fun. And I am productive actually in the project when we build stuff. And it keeps me on task, and it gives me good ideas too. But every other day I want to actually film tutorials and post tutorials on YouTube, because my goal is at least one tutorial a week. And just as you said, you appreciated me coming back and streaming. I think, we're doing a little bit less, but Hurricane VR. Oh, thanks for the follow, Bork Stick. That's fun. Bork Stick. Do you have a Bork Stick in your house, or how did that name even come about? Tutorial idea about Hurricane VR. I did do, it was a while ago. I did do kind of a brief overview of Hurricane VR. I did one on AutoHand as well. That is actually, so over in school, I have asked about, we did a poll not too long ago. Here we go. If you're not in school, you should join school. This is where all the things happen and where all the classes end up. But we did a poll, and the top results, I actually thought it was going to be an inventory system. That was my internally this is what people will want. But out of the 4 that I proposed here, VR hand animation was the top one. And then the second one is basically kind of what you guys are asking about. Which VR framework SDK should I use? And I kind of did one of these a while ago where I was like, okay, but I think it was just what assets from the Unity asset store, which VR framework should it be? And so it was basically AutoHand, Hurricane VR, and VRIF comparison. And so this one would be which one should you use between XR Interaction Toolkit, the Meta SDK, and then all the other extra ones. So Ultimate XR or Hurricane VR, AutoHand, VRIF, or any of the other weirder, smaller ones, which I probably wouldn't suggest. Someone brought up Open XR Toolkit, which is different than OpenXR, if that's not confusing enough. And OpenXR is not a framework. Yeah, lots of things to think about. But I will do, so I will be doing probably those two next. I'll probably do the hand animations, which is going to be kind of similar to what we're talking about today, actually. So today the project is, what a transition. Today the project is to get the pump action working. And then also we want to get the gun working itself. So we got this gun working. So this gun works totally fine. We should actually test it now just to prove to y'all that it actually does work. But this is the raycast gun and it should work perfectly fine. I don't know why my headset seems to think I'm like tilted. So the UI in my headset home is like a little bit sideways, which is a little jarring, but all right, let's do a quick test. Make sure everything still works. I didn't break anything in the last couple of days. So what should be happening is the last stream we got reloading working. So you can two-hand the gun. Whoa, okay, that is another thing we should fix. The gun shouldn't interact with the player. That is like when this is a very common question I get, is like when people start flying like this. That is because the gun can interact with the player capsule and do that. So we'll fix that after I stop playing. So you can shoot, boom, boom, and there should only be 6 rounds in here. There we go. So I can't shoot anymore, so I have to take that out, add a new one in, and then we got 6 more. Oh, I missed. So the reason we did 6 is because there's only 12 balloons, and so if you are not perfect, you have to reload a 3rd time. So there we go. Ta-da! And then we also did, this was pretty key yesterday, but you can't, it won't automatically reload. That was actually pretty big. So we coded up some custom stuff to actually make it so that it doesn't automatically reload when you do drop the gun down, because it will, like a socket, the way we've set it up, a socket without the code we've written will actually automatically reload and like add the socket, which is not what we want. What's up, Hidden Key? Wanted to thank you for your content. You studied XR development and graduated last year. My tutorials helped you out during some of those crunch times. Oh, that's awesome. That's great to hear. From Germany. Very nice. So what was your degree? Was your degree in XR development? Do they even have that? Or is it like game development? Very curious. But welcome. Welcome to the stream. Glad you're here. All right, so everything, we need to basically just set the player to a different layer here. So over in physics settings, in the collision matrix, do we have a player? No, we don't. So we'll go create a new layer, call it player. We'll put it on layer 3 because there's a weird missing layer on player 3. And then over here, where are you? Player, and then we want the gun and the magazine. Wait, no. Where are you? Player, gun, and then magazine. There we go. Take those off. So now when I'm holding the gun and the gun is colliding with the capsule that is the player, it won't, because that's what was happening, is I was trying to run through my gun and there was a weird issue there. So it was trying to throw me off. In the horror version, you should accidentally get the player loaded into the gun and shot at the balloon. That would be wild. That would be wild. You should join VR Creator Academy. Yes, it is fantastic. Highly recommend. The intrusive thoughts. I love this is gonna be so fun. I will come back and we're gonna do so many iterations of this VR create the VR county fair. It's gonna be so much fun. So the next iteration I think is gonna be multiplayer, and then the one after that, or maybe actually the next iteration might be this meta world. We'll try to get it into Horizon World just to see what it's like, and I'll do tutorials about that. Add that to the VR Creator Club, and then add multiplayer to it, and then we'll add in like a spooky season. By then it'll have been enough months. We'll add like a spooky season version of everything to it. Okay, so this gun works perfectly fine now, and then we need to do an abstraction. So a lot of the stuff on this, so these are two different scripts, because this one's a raycast gun and this other one is a physics projectile. We're actually shooting out projectiles, just because I wanted to show you guys what the difference was. It's a really new course, and I was the first class to ever graduate, and it's now called the Augmented and Virtual Design, and it covers all things XR development. So not a traditional game dev course. That's awesome. That's actually really cool. So that's interesting. So like what is the main, I'm curious, do they point you in a direction for like an SDK to use, or do they just kind of show you the gambit and let you pick? I'm very curious about that kind of class. That is interesting. It's kind of fun that I am like a weird micro celebrity. Like, not a ton of people know about me, but everyone who's tried to make a VR game knows about me. It's a weird thing. All right, so we need to abstract this gun away, and so we will go to the codes. Also, do you see that? That was an automatic transition. So now I'm not going to forget to transition myself over. I figured that out too in the offlines. The study course is full-time and takes around 3 years to complete. Yeah, niche celebrity. How do you make zero gravity? Oh, that's an easy one. I love questions like that. Go to player settings, go to physics, and then make gravity 0 on the y-axis. Ta-da! Zero gravity. So fun, cool enough, coincidentally enough, funnily enough, something cool you can do is if you make like a Gorilla Tag clone, turn gravity off, and now it's just a 0G like space game. Super fun. I think VR needs more space games. I think space games is an untapped potential in modern video games, because all of the space games that are currently out there are including gravity. So like Halo, when you're in space and stuff, you're still, all the ships have artificial gravity, which is not really how it would work in real life. Like you have to have some kind of a spinning mechanism, like a spinning ring, in order to simulate artificial gravity. And so most ships, especially if they're like combat ships, there's not gonna be any gravity. We don't have the tech to have artificial gravity, and so it's gonna be 0G. And so I think VR is the perfect game mode in order to play some 0G games, because you get that 3D axis that you can like push, pull, move, float around in, and it's not really something you can replicate with like WASD on a keyboard, because it's just forward, backwards, sideways. With VR, you can literally go up, down, forward, left, and right all at the same time, and it's fantastic. Can you change, what's up, Gamer Reality? Can you change the gravity per scene or change it in runtime? Yes, you can with code. Yeah, so you can just literally access the like physics.gravity. I think it's physics.gravity. Let's see. Can it just be like physics.gravity? Is that Unity Physics? What are you? You are Unity Physics. I think you have to access it a different way. I forget how though, but you can access it, and then you can change it just dynamically in runtime if you want. Or also, if you have a character controller, you can specify. I think you can specify the gravity. No, I think that was on something else then. Oh yeah, so that's what we were talking about. The 3.1 version of the XR Interaction Toolkit will include jumping and gravity in the locomotion section, and so I think that gravity component of this is something you could change and have like be different if you just want the player to have a different gravity. What's up, Thanos? Can't wait till someone brings a VR headset to actual space. I actually think they do. I think the International Space Station does have or use VR to kind of calm astronauts and like make them feel like they're back at home and reduce that homesickness, because they can put the VR headset on and like be in, you know, Montana or wherever. So I do think they actually do use that. You get back to your cuter spaced game soon. Yeah, you have so many games going, Grandstone. It's wild. Space is fun. You're building a mixed reality clone of Asteroid. Ooh, okay. So you're just kind of floating around and you have like 360 asteroids coming at you. That's pretty cool, Borkstick. What are your thoughts on what VR's killer game is? Like the best game in virtual reality right now? That's a good question. One of my favorites, maybe not the best game, but one of my favorites that I think it can only be done in it's my favorite, or one of my favorites, because it can only be done in VR, is Gods of Gravity. Also coincidentally a space game, but it's a strategy game where you are basically just trying to take over a solar system. And so you have like spaceships that are orbiting a planet or a moon, and by taking over planets or moons, it'll grow your fleet, so that planet will like kind of give you more and more ships. And then there's like anywhere from 5 to like, you know, 30 planets or moons inside of a solar system. And so you start on one side, somebody else starts on the other side, whether it's an AI or another person, and then you literally grab the spaceships from the side of the moon as they're like orbiting, and you throw them at another moon. So that's how you like get the spaceships to go around. And there's like a little bit of like kind of orbital mechanics and gravity as well. So all the planets and moons kind of move a little bit, and then when you throw the spaceships, they kind of follow the orbital mechanics as well a little bit, and so they'll get like sucked into gravity wells and stuff. And it is really cool. It's a fun game. What should be like, what do you think will come out as VR's killer app or game? Ugh. What is my ideal game? Honestly, this is something that I want to make, is a newer, better, there's a game called Boundaries, actually. It was just a shooter game. It didn't do it really well. Boundary. So it was basically space Call of Duty. And the idea is, well, yeah, it's just space Call of Duty. That's the whole idea. I don't know why it's not doing well. But you're literally like just astronauts, like floating around in space in like 3 dimensions. You've got a cool little grappling hook, and you fly around and shoot each other. But it's you got that, you know, 3 degrees of freedom as opposed to 2 degrees, which you normally have, 2 degrees plus jumping and crouching. And it did really good for a little bit, and then you see the very, very negative recent reviews, because there's just nobody on anymore. And like, I think it was a really, really good game for like a couple of weeks, and then it just like went downhill. So I think something like this will revolutionize the idea of it. And so, Ubisoft tried that with Space Junkies in VR. Is that on Steam? Space Junkies. Oh, here we go. Ubisoft tried that, but shut it down due to lack of players. Yeah, see, this was 2019. And then also this happened to Echo Arena. And Echo Arena had a paid, so Echo Arena was free. And then the whole point of Echo Arena was to try to upsell people to a game called Echo Combat, which was Echo Arena with guns, effectively. So where you did capture the flag and conquest, like zone capture and that kind of stuff. And I think that was the funnest game that I've ever played in VR. It was 3v3. It's a kind of tactical shooter game in like 0G. It wasn't quite space, but it was 0G environment, and it was so fun. It was so much fun. I was in there every single day, and then it just kind of died off. It became harder and harder to find a lobby. Like I would just sit there for like 30 minutes, and the social lobby in Echo Arena was also incredible, brilliant. But I think that was just too early. So I think I did a post about this on Twitter. I think that right now is the golden era of VR development for not AAA games, for indie games. So if you are an indie VR game developer, I think now is the best time to publish a game, because there's enough headsets finally out there in the market and enough players. Like it's become like a household name. You can go and buy it at Best Buy or at Walmart. There's headsets out there now, but there's not enough headsets to make a AAA game profitable. And so that's why you see these AAA games coming in and just absolutely failing, because they couldn't fund their 400 person 2-year project off of a VR game that they made, just because there's not enough players there for the AAA market yet. But for indie, that kind of leaves this weird little gap where there's not a ton of really, really high quality VR games out there, which means as an indie developer, it gives you a whole lot more hope to actually building a game, because it's not flooded with like these super high quality, high fidelity games that you can't compete with. And so as a small, lean team of 1 to, I'd say probably 5 to maybe 8 max of people, if you crank out a game in 6 months to a year, like a relatively small game, it's got to have a relatively small game loop. So because people will only play VR, the average consumer will only play for 30 minutes at a time, and then they take the headset off, because the headset is still like a little bit bulky, a little bit too like, people don't want to wear it for a long time unless you're like super hardcore like me, where I'm starting to get acne like under my eyes because I wear the headset so much. Like I'll get acne like right here, which is great, fantastic. So basically my point is, if you're an indie dev and you can make a game in less than a year, small game loop, so 5 to 15 minutes of like whatever your core gameplay loop is, let them be able to get through that and save. And so they can knock out, 2-3 of these, like, Beat Saber is a great example of, it's a 3-minute song, and then you can, jump in, do 1 or 2 and jump out, or you can jump in and stay for 5 hours. And so it's something like that, where you jump in. This kind of 3v3 space shooter game, I think, is a great idea, and it's something that I want to build. I just got a lot of stuff that I'm working on. That is a project that I have in mind. No sleep, kid. You let the fridge door open. You're wasting all that power. Rude. Hold on, I gotta read it off of the big screen because it's scrolled away so far. Like the idea of from Gorilla Tag to exactly. So it's effectively, so the biggest game right now, game genre, is the kind of Gorilla Tag clone. They call it Gorilla Tag clone. Gorilla Tag clone is going to be the new like Q-tip, like, or Band-Aid. That kind of branded thing where it's like none of the Band-Aids that are made today are actually like the Band-Aid company, like the branded trademark Band-Aid. They're, just adhesive gauze, but it's like everyone calls them Band-Aids. Everyone calls them Q-tips, even though they're not actually Q-tips. They're just cotton swabs on a stick. Gorilla Tag clone is gonna be that. It's just that category of game where you move with your hands. And I think if you make a 0G version of that and there's guns, it's gonna do really, really well right now. And so I think that's my idea. I want to build one. If you beat me to it, I won't be mad. It's just when I get there, mine will be better. So we'll get some good competition in there. Maybe we just need the lobby from Echo Arena, have that as a hangout spot. We really do. Like, that is another huge, like, I would just hang out in the lobby from Echo Arena for hours. It would just be, you know, like, that was just a fun place. Like, I'd, like, you know, meet up with a little party. Like, I get a couple people in there, we'd make a couple friends, and the fact that it was a full body too was crazy. And their, like, arm tracking tech was light years, like decades ahead of its time, because, like, even today, like, they can't get the, like, inverse kinematics working right. But for Echo Arena and Lone Echo, it was spot on. It was great. It was very, very good tech. Not made in Unity. I think they had a custom game engine, and a lot of research and math went into all that. Even like the way the hands worked. So, like, you put your hands on a surface, and then you, as you, like, turned, like, even as you were grabbing, but so it would, like, kind of do the little, like, grab thing, but then even as you turned your hand, it would, like, rotate your wrist too to, like, match your hand rotation. Beautiful. I need to jump in and play some more a snackable game loop. Yes, that's exactly it. That's what I was trying to do. What will AAA games look like for VR? They don't work on mobile. It might not work on VR because people have to move. Yeah, that's I think a AAA game, people are kind of conflating the Quest and PC VR. I think they're two entirely different categories of games. And I think there's, like, people are like, oh, well, that VR game just doesn't look good. The graphics aren't very good. Like, you know, I don't want to play VR because that game isn't good. I mean, whatever game it is. And it's because that game was specifically made for the Quest, and the Quest is a toaster. It's really bad. The polys that you have to be able to hit on a Quest is very tiny, and the draw calls is very tiny, and trying to hit any of that is crazy. But then when you hook it up to a PC, like this one I've been running, like, I can run, you know, 12. So I was doing some performance test, and I was like, I had 5 million polys. It's like a whole, like, military base with high fidelity vehicles and everything. Put it on the VR headset, hit play in Unity. So we've got the editor loop on there as well. Runs perfectly fine at like 120 frames a second. Because I have a 4090 and like a i9 and, like, really, really good computer specs. But I ran a build of it, put it in the headset, a Quest 3, so the best performance standalone headset we've got so far, and it was like 10 frames a second. It was not having it at all. I even went in and, like, turned all the lights off and made everything baked. Like, it tried to help it a little bit, but it was just too many, like, polygons. Just couldn't handle it. I have not played Oathbreakers yet. What game is that? Is that something I should play? Is it on here, or is it on the Quest store? Breakers. We talked about this last time. I'm not very good at spelling. Wow, words are hard. Oathbreakers is a multiplayer fantasy VR RPG that incorporates a unique blend of strategic, precision-based real-time action combat with unrestricted player versus player competitiveness in a relaxing RPG themed environment. PvP competition in a relaxing RPG environment is a bit of an oxymoron. That's interesting. This looks interesting though. But, like, this is the style that you'll see most games have, is this super low poly, like, it's all, like, kind of synthy poly. Usually it is a synthy asset that someone uses, because, and the reason this game doesn't look really, really nice, even though it's on Steam, is because it was built for Quest. So I think people need to start building games for PC VR. I think we're just kind of in that mobile boom right now. Like, if you want to make a profitable game, it has to run on Quest, because not enough people are buying specifically PC VR games. But PC VR is, like, where the, you know, Half-Life Alyx, those kinds of games that can really, like, push the boundaries because of, you know, you're able to run a whole lot more graphics and processing through it. and so you can kind of get a lot more out of it. So that might be more fun to explore too. I think that's another niche that is being lacking right now. If you make a game for Steam specifically, and like don't care about Quest, just like care about kind of a lower end gaming PC, then like just go to like Call of Duty or whatever the latest, AAA game came out with, and see what their minimum PC specs are and try to just match that. That could be interesting. How important do you think audio is in a VR game? I assume a lot in terms of immersion. What game does it best in your opinion? Ooh. All right. I gotta show you all something. Ray trace audio game. There's a game that I saw. Oh, what is it? Ray trace audio voxel game. It was this guy who he's making a voxel game. I think he's making his own engine. And all right, how about how I optimized my voxel game? Yep, this guy. So he has made one of his videos a while back, ray traced audio demo. You guys should be hearing stereo. So let's play this. Here, I'll Oh, let me turn Spotify, shut up. Music. All right, listen to this. This is like a low poly. You can hear the bounce. I have no idea how he does it, but you can literally hear like the reverberation. Like if it's an open room, it goes boom, like it's a bigger reverberation, and it's dynamic too. So if you like create a hole in the wall, it like sounds different because it will bounce off, like, or it doesn't bounce because it like goes out off into the distance. Wild. Crazy. So yeah, this is a Versidium, something like that. Yeah, exactly. Like somebody put it in some kind of horror game. Absolutely wild. But yeah, to answer your question, I think audio is super important, really, really important, because the immersion factor of the audio is this game changer. That's what I was talking with someone on Twitter today about the way AAA games can still make their game for VRs by doing like a port. So there's the company right now, called Flat to VR Studios, something like that, and literally they just make mods, and the whole mod is them coming in and taking Red Dead Redemption or some other really popular game that's just flat screen, and then adding a VR mod to it that's not just like your basic, you're still using the controller but it's in a VR headset. It's like all the interactions have been updated so that you can literally like reach out and grab things and pull them in, or open chest instead of like walking up and pressing a button. And I think this is the way for VR to get more better games. No Man's Sky did this amazing. No Man's Sky has a VR version, and it's the same game. So you open up No Man's Sky, you can say, I want to open this in VR, or I want to open this in like flat screen. And I think if more games just did that would like expand the VR library significantly, because it doesn't require a whole like team to like make Sniper Elite VR or So I think they're starting to do this. So the AAA teams are starting to catch on, like, okay, we can't make a purely profitable VR game yet. It's getting there. We see a market, but the kind of few games who have done it before, the few AAA studios like Medal of Honor, and Sniper Elite and a few other ones, they weren't profitable. And so I think you're going to get a lot more Civilization. So like the Civ 7, if you haven't seen, is going to have a VR version of it, VR mod. And so you can actually play Civ in mixed reality, and it'll kind of show up as like this big circular table on your room, like you're playing Catan, but it's Civilization. So I think they're going to start, a lot of AAA companies are going to start doing that next, as opposed to like making purely VR games. He probably just took the bake lighting code and adjusted it. That would be, I don't even know how you would do that. But this would be like, this sounds amazing. I don't know nearly enough about audio to get something like this, but yeah, it would be really cool to like, yeah, some kind of like ray tracing kind of thing. I think he has another video like specifically demoing this tech, but it's like different rooms and stuff. So he like walks into a grass room, walks into like a, you know, something else. Like here's a voice chat one.
Come here. Hearing you say I'm gonna die.
But he's like, when behind the wall, he sounds different, and then like when the wall goes away, or like when they're kind of, they have a wall between them, it's not just always the same kind of audio. It's like slightly different the whole time, and that is super cool. All right, Spot, if I can come back and be in the background. But yeah, yeah, audio is important for sure. In your opinion, what is the best way to find a studio partner for finishing an indie VR game? See a hidden one of these days I'll figure out how to say your name. Hidinki. 3 a.m. Yeah, thanks for hanging out though. The best way to find a studio partner. Honestly, okay, so for finishing an indie VR game, so have you finished? So do you want someone just for marketing? Is that kind of what you're looking for, or are you looking for like some kind of development or art help or something like that? Come back and teach me. Do it. I want all the. I am very open to the knowledge. Please teach me the things that I have gaps in. I would love that. Not publishing, ideally an artist and a programmer. Honestly, our VR club would be perfect for that, doing a post in there and saying, hey, we need I need someone to help. It's going to be a lot harder, and it depends on, you just have to offer them, it has to benefit them is kind of the biggest thing. So the best way is going to be money. So if you can hire them as a contractor, that's the best situation and the fastest way you can get a programmer and or an artist. The most difficult way to do it would be do some kind of equity split with the game, revenue share type of thing. A business person and a marketer. Yeah, so it'd be, and like you do like YouTube and stuff, so like maybe you're the business person, marketer. So the thing is, it's gonna be easier if you have started already, which is kind of like a chicken and egg problem. But if you have an idea, and then you but yeah, like if you do a post, like absolutely like encouraged, do a post, create a community. Ooh, a good idea. So if it's a project you haven't started yet, then I would recommend doing a game jam. So people will very willingly work for free in a team of people they don't know on a game jam for some kind of game. And then from there, if you find a couple people you like, and it also kind of helps you vet some people. So if you have a couple people in mind that you think might be good, but you're not really sure, if you want to kind of give them a little trial, do a game jam. And so in the VR Creator Club, we do a game jam every other month. So we did one in January. The next one's going to be in March. I still need to make the page for it. But yeah, do a game jam with the people you would be interested in actually building out a game with. And then, yeah, that's how you've met some people. So if you reach back out to them, honestly, yeah, the people you already know and have worked with is going to be your best source of, that's like in business, they always tell you your best customers are the people who have already bought something from you, because they will be more likely to buy something from you again. So the same way with like anything really. And so, yeah, just the people who have already worked with you might be likely to work with you again, as long as you were good to work with. That's the trick there. And you can't be, another thing is like you have to be willing to work more on the project than they are, especially if it's your idea. They need to see you putting in the effort on the project more than they are. Otherwise they're gonna be like, oh well, I'm working on it more, I should get more of an equity split, or it should be my game, or like that kind of stuff. So Discord's the answer. Finding people on Discord is a good one. So my VR Creator Club is not on Discord. Our Discord's kind of discontinued. Nobody was talking in it. We all moved over to school. Is the platform. There's links on, you can find it in all of my stuff, but it's just like a fancy Facebook group. But if you're in other Discord groups, then yeah, Discord's a good way to get in touch with people. Yeah, that's that. So usually it's a programmer, an artist, and then if you're gonna like have people, so you've got your solo person, and so the solo is usually people who are solo devs have a decent amount of programming knowledge, because you have to program all the game mechanics yourself, or either that or just like use a framework or some kind of template, but then you still have to learn a little bit of coding. And then the first person you hire is either an artist or a programmer, depending on which one you are. You hire the opposite one. Hire being, whether it's, if you have cash, hire them as a contractor. If you don't have cash, try to convince them to work on it with you for like an equity split or a revenue share for that game. What level of knowledge should you be to participate in the VR Creator Club Game Jam? Really any. So usually we will do, it's a whole month long, and we kind of alternate back and forth. I'll probably do a poll about this actually, to see what the most people want. But the way that we found that works the best is it's a whole month long, and the theme is optional. And so a lot of people will use it for the projects that they've already been working on, and they'll submit their already started projects as kind of like a feedback checkpoint kind of thing. And so it's a good like kind of check-in to get some eyes on your project, so people can actually see what you've been working on and give you some feedback on like, oh, this approach you're taking, or this mechanic's not really fun, and like, that kind of stuff. What's up, Arkin? You just had a presentation on Banter Meetup about actually publishing on the MetaQuest store. Oh yeah, that was Eliza. How did that go? Yeah, that was we also meet up in VR every other week in the VR Creator Club. It is very fun. But yeah, so to answer your question, Levi, you need to at least have the knowledge to finish one entire game loop. So that's going to be your main menu. You're going to need to know UI. You're going to need to, and there is a template. So Valum made a template a couple years ago. I'm not sure if it's out. I need to make, before this next game jam, I need to make an updated template. I need to write that down. Update the game jam template. There we go. I don't know if you guys have seen, but this is my stack of video tutorial ideas, specifically tutorials. So we're gonna get cranking. That's why we're dropping the streams back to 3 times a week, is so I can work on the other 3 days a week. All right, so update the game jam template. That'll be done before the next game jam, and so that game jam template will come with a main menu, and then it will automatically transition you to the next scene. And so really what you need to be able to do is have one game loop is really what you need. So whether that's, you know, shooting something like this project that I'm working on here, like with the balloon pop kind of thing, or, you know, being able to run around, or, you know, whatever the game mechanic is, that's usually what I recommend working on first too, in some kind of game jam, or really just any project in general. But yeah, you've been on a 2-year journey making your game, hired contractors, 6-month interns, but you needed an affordable final push. Wow, that's impressive. 2-year project? That's crazy. Yeah, note cards. Your Google Docs might be equal 100 note cards. You're using triggers for your, oh goodness. You're using triggers on your UI for the main menu right now. Yeah, that's good. So here I can show you the main menu of this project. We're not getting much done today, but we are talking about a lot. That is fine with me. The more questions you guys have, the better. So this is the main menu, and I'll honestly probably just copy something like this out for the template that I'll give y'all. But it's literally like a really, really simple menu with a start button, and then on the button there is we're not listening to on click here, like in the actual inspector, because we have a main menu behavior script. So what we're doing in here is we have a list of all the buttons. We have a start button, a credits button. Here, I'll just finish showing you what everything looked like. So we have start, credits, and then we have a quit button, and then we have like a little settings button in here. So credits and the settings will just flip you over to another panel. So it'll hide, what it does is literally just turns that panel off, and then it'll turn the settings panel on. There we go. And then this I have tied to the XR origin, and it will update the vignette, the forward movement, the turn type, and then the snap angle. And then you can hit back. There's a back button, so that'll turn this panel off, turn the main menu panel back on. And then if you hit credits, it turns the main menu panel off, and then the credits panel on. So created by me, and then Christine is the one who actually made all the models that you guys get in the Creator Club for this project. And then the start just moves you to the next scene, and then quit just kills the app, so it just drops you out. So what that looks like in code is we have a list of all the buttons, and then we have a list of all the panels, and then we have one kind of setting, which is just like which scene should we go to when we transition. And then on start, we are listening for everything. So we're just grabbing and listening to that on click event for each one of the buttons. And then we register effectively one method per button. And so handle the start button clicked just loads the scene from the scene manager, and then handle the credits button clicked just turns the main menu panel off. Make sure that the settings panel is off if it somehow got activated, and then turns the credits panel on. And then we're just setting the right combination for every time something gets clicked, including the back buttons. So all the back buttons are in here as well. And then handle quit, really just, so it does two things. It checks to see if we're in the editor first. So if we're in the editor, then we just call editor application is playing equals false, which will, it basically just does the same as hitting the play button or the stop button in the Unity editor. And then if we're not in the editor, then we call application.quit, which just kills the whole app. Yeah, sure thing, gamer. Absolutely. What is this song? This is wild. Something a little more chill, please. Yeah, like if you send me a DM or just jump on more of these streams, I'm happy to yeah, help you out with stuff. And then also like marketing you're getting to the home stretch. So I think marketing and having a Discord and that kind of stuff is going to start to be a lot more important too, as you kind of get into your alpha beta stage. So usually the kind of workflow that I run people through is you have an alpha first, and so that's releasing to your friends and family, so everyone that you know and everyone that any of your developers know, and then so it's really just like 15, 20 people or something like that, maybe even smaller, of people who try the game. You get feedback on it, and then you basically just have these like concentric circles that get bigger and bigger with each kind of phase of the finishing up the project that you have. So you have your alpha, which is your first round of feedback of people basically telling you if your mechanic is good or not. And so your alpha is, we're still working on it, we haven't finished all the mechanics yet. And then the next one is a closed beta, which is your Discord server. And so everyone inside of the Discord is, and so that like your alpha is when you start marketing too. So you start posting screenshots, start posting short 15-second on Twitter right now. It's here's 15 seconds of my indie game is like kind of the way you market. And so it's like a quick, whatever the most interesting or hookable part of your game is, like you get a quick little clip of that and you post that. And then you do closed beta, which is everyone in the Discord. So you have to be part of the Discord in order to get access to closed beta. And then you just like have them fill out a form. Give them your email. They give you your email. They give you their email, and then they fill out a feedback survey. Is kind of the deal. And then you do an open beta, which can look like a well, no, I wouldn't do a demo. So you do an open beta, which is like you're like very, very close to being done, and so that's going to be like your early access like side quest kind of thing, which is usually like all of this is like free up until that point, and then after you do your open beta, then you do a demo, which is like a really, really polished demo that you put on the Steam or the Metastore, and then after that you do a full-on publishing. So like basically you just swap them, do your demo, and then like a little bit later like kind of give them enough to be like, oh, I want to like open it back up, and then you release your full game. It's kind of the process that I run like people who I coach through. What is with this? I'm gonna find a different playlist that's more chill. What is going on? Hold on. These are all. Let's do this one. There we go. Calm. There we go. Yeah, I do coaching. So if you're in the VR Creator Club, I also have a VR Creator Pro section. You guys can't see it because I'm in the way, but it's over there, right there. And then over in here, so this is not a ton of people in here, but it's basically just everyone in here is actively working on a project, and then like publishing a project, and they get unlimited one-on-one calls with me. So usually it looks like once a week we do a check-in, and then if you run into issues or have some kind of bug you're hitting, then we jump on a call in like an hour or two after you hit that roadblock, and then I help you get over it with like a screen share. And the whole idea is to prevent you from hitting that roadblock and being stuck for too long and kind of losing motivation. Like we kind of keep you going. So if one who's about to publish their alpha, which is really exciting, and then you've got a couple people kind of in the early stages still. So and then we get so the roadmap that I just talked about is in here in like a Trello board, like all mapped out with all the tasks underneath each phase. And then there's a whole like marketing checklist of like, here's all the things you need to have and do for marketing. Like your Discord server and, you know, profiles and that kind of stuff. It's kind of expensive. What I've been doing recently is it's $5,000 for a year, so per year. And then and you can book a call here, and we like literally will just talk about it. And then if you can't do $5,000, then well, yeah, I've done monthly payment plans. I've done, you know, bi-monthly, that kind of stuff. So we can negotiate it, but because yeah, things that high are negotiable. But or like even if you just need like 1 or 2 one-on-one sessions and you don't want like a whole on coaching program, we can talk about that too. But your game is a multiplayer casual hangout with game modes and space for goofing off, like a playground. It's named Clayground. That's fun. Yeah, I'm definitely help for hire. I mean, I give advice for free on you know, stuff like this, streams. Also in the main like VR Creator Club, we do a Q&A call every Tuesday. So I jump on for an hour and answer as many questions as I can. So great little, we're doing a whole self promo section here, but okay, yeah, doing it through Patreon, that's a good idea. I didn't read that message. Yeah, that's a good way to get the funding still, and then also have it be so that it's, you know, those people are more hardcore, they're more dedicated to the game. That's a good idea, actually. Yeah, send me a DM up here. So just, you know, go to DMs. You can the chat's in the way, but up here on the top you can send me a DM. I always have school open. So yeah, here's Levi. He just did a demo, so he got pinned. If you publish a game, you get posted onto the wall of published devs. So that everyone in this list here has published a game from the VR Creator Club. And let's see, this one, Walk the Plank by Ian, got onto the top 25 games on the MetaQuest store for the week, 1 week, and so it was really cool. Yeah, the community funded your original idea. That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, do it. Jump in the group. We've got 1,600 people in here. It is solid. Yeah, there we go, Jack. Good job. Jack's model of day 16. A Q-tip. Did you get that idea from, I don't know if you're even still watching. Did you get that idea from when I was talking about Q-tips and band-aids earlier? Yeah, it's a good group. So I've got like over 70 hours worth of tutorials. So everything from Unity Primer, C#, XR Interaction Toolkit, the Oculus integration stuff's gonna be outdated. And this is what we're currently working on, is updating the XR Interaction Toolkit here. And then Valum did a whole multiplayer section. So this is all made by Valum, and he goes and makes like a whole zombie shooter project in here, which is fun. And then we've got publishing, how to make Blender stuff specifically for VR, and then all like the downloads from all of my YouTube tutorials and stuff. And then this is my in progress updating section. So yeah, that's the club. All right. Nope, that's what it always was. You need a simple model in days that you're gonna do more programming. Okay, sure. I don't believe you. All right, let's jump over to the county fair. I don't want to save. I don't know what I changed. Whoa, I don't want to do that. So we need to abstract this gun out. So the scripts we've got in this ray gun behavior, stuff that we're replicating, should be physics gun behavior. And so I think we're gonna make a abstract class called gun, or maybe not abstract. Yeah, it'll probably be abstract. So we'll just do gun. And then this gun is going to want to have, so what are we going to need for both? So we've got our physics gun. Where's the ray? Let's bring that off to the side here. Oh, you guys can't see that. So we want to do a comparison, like what is going to be the same for both of these scripts. And we're obviously going to need shoot, but shoot happens differently. So we'll just need shoot defined, but not, or shoot listed, but not defined. Because in here we are doing mag checking and stuff. So maybe we'll define half of it. And then you do the like actual check via raycast or check via rigid body shoot. And then this like socket stuff is stuff we want to duplicate. So basically from here all the way up to the start is probably something we want to copy and just paste inside of gun. And then we will need the socket. Well, let's just copy everything and then see what we don't use. And this is, it's not going to be okay. Yeah, so we'll have a muzzle. We will have a public abstract class gun. I guess it needs to be I'm trying to think of how I want to architect this. How do I want to like actually set up the architecture? So you're building an 8 sides workstation for doing gene manipulation on the plants. So yeah, you need a simple model today. Yeah, that's wild. Gridstone's building is it procedurally generated? Is like what a lot of your models are and stuff, or a lot of the stuff you're doing in your game. Yeah. What is an abstract class? So an abstract class is something that I can inherit from, except I don't think an abstract class can be a mono behavior. Or actually, I don't want mono behavior. Can we have an abstract mono behavior? That's allowed? I guess so. Okay, so gun is a mono behavior, and then that means we want to inherit from gun. Abstract just means that we can't define it, or it can't be instantiated. Like we can't create something, and so how do I explain this? A good way to explain it is, so gun is going to be our abstract class, and so what we need in here is like, what does every single gun ever have in it or do, and then we can define all of that here. So we don't need array distance because we don't need shootable layers. We want a socket, so every single gun needs to reload somehow. And I guess for this world we're assuming that all guns reload with a magazine, not individual bullets. We might could do that later, or maybe each bullet would technically be its own magazine in this weird use case. But we're assuming that all guns in our world right now have a reload capability with a magazine and only one magazine. We're assuming that all guns do a muzzle flash, and then we're assuming that all guns have some kind of muzzle and can insert it. This is JetBrains Writer. They are specifically marketed as the game development engine, or game development IDE. And I love it. I love JetBrains Writer. It is very nice. And then the way I'm moving around in here, it's called Vim, V-I-M motions, and it lets me like jump up and down. So I'm pressing Control U, Control D. Basically it goes up half a screen, down half a screen is U and D. And then I can go left and right pressing J and, not J and K, H and whatever the one next to K is, because I don't have, I don't have letters on my keyboard. So my brain doesn't know what the correct thing is. Oh, I messed it up by moving it. There we go. And then J and K go up and down. And then if I want to actually edit something, I press I, and that'll put me into edit mode. So you see the cursor is different, and now I can actually type. But it feels, well, one, it feels more gamey, so it's fun. It's more fun to like move around in code. And then two, it's faster, I think it's faster. And I can also do stuff like copy everything inside the brackets here. So I can do Y, I, bracket, and then there we go. It copied everything inside of the little squirrely brackets. So yeah, I can do like cool little like combinations of actions too. Okay, so you have to inherit the class into a new class in order to use any of the properties of functions. Yes, that's a very good, succinct way of describing an abstract class. So yeah, so we define everything that a gun has, but none of the like individual attributes. So in this case, we have a ray gun and a physics gun, but who made my custom member emojis? I think I did. I got someone on Fiverr to do it, and it's just like a turtle like emerging. Well, no, so I have two. So my emojis are me doing things, but then the like member progression. So like when you're 1 month, you get like I don't have it on Twitch yet because I need 2 more, actually 1 more after Borkstick. I need 1 more follower in order to get affiliate on Twitch, because I think I have been streaming to the correct amount of people. Let's see how many. Yeah, we've got 3 viewers. I need 1 more follower, and then I need to average 3 viewers for a month on Twitch, and then you guys can get it. Oh, there we go. Hey Dash, you hit my follower goal. Beautiful. Yeah, that's fun. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so I got on Fiverr. So the kind of channel member subscriber progression is like a turtle. So you start out with like a little shell, a little egg, and then the next month you hatch, and then the next month you're a baby turtle, and then the next month after that you're like a teenager turtle, and then after that you get a VR headset, and then after that like a year later or something you're like a super turtle. So oh, what's up, Smurfy Chipmunk? Thanks for the follow. Do you love chipmunks in particular? Is that why is your profile Smurfy Chipmunk? I'm just imagining a blue chipmunk running around. That's wild. Sweet. Yeah, I need to actually see how this affiliate thing works. YouTube always shows me to more people. So like I have 8 people watching on YouTube right now. And I have 6 people on Twitch now. What's going on? Everybody's coming to hang out. We were building stuff, and then we got really, I don't know, have we written any code today yet? I guess this whole class is technically written code, but I copied and pasted it from this class, so we're not writing much code today. We're talking about lots of VR troubles. How do you test with a first-person controller in pancake mode? Like, you have a VR game, but you want to test in a first-person controller? All you have to do is turn off your VR controller and turn on a different first-person controller. So you go into here, so you've got your XR Origin, you just turn that off, and then you have a separate first-person controller that just has a literal like first-person controller script attached to it, and then you turn that one on, and then when you hit play it won't go into VR, it'll stay in Unity, and you can test it from there. Is this for the course on the classroom page? Yeah, so we're going through and updating this so the current iteration, we go through and we build out this whole county fair. So it has a little ring toss bottle game here, where if you get like 2 rings on a bottle, you win, you get a prize. And then we have a balloon. It's supposed to be darts, but I knew that most of y'all would want to have guns in some kind of project, and so I am showing y'all how to do guns. And so we have 2 different types of guns. One of them's a raycast gun, and then one of them is a projectile shooting gun, and you can pop the balloons with the gun. And then the projectile ones, you can actually throw the gun at the balloon and hit the balloon and it will pop the balloons, which is funny. And then the next booth we're building, which isn't over here yet, is there's a strongman booth where you have to take a hammer and hit like a little pad and it calculates your force and shoots something up. And then there's a merry-go-round, and then there's like a take it booth kind of thing. And so I want to, in the current project, so right now we're updating this to Unity 6 and the XR Interaction Toolkit 3.0 right now. And the previous version is Unity 2021 and the 2.0 version of the XR Interaction Toolkit. So oh boy, Gridstone wrote a little music loop to use in my horror version. This is gonna be hilarious. I'm really excited about this horror version of this game now. I should do a course for recreating VR games. That'd be very helpful, I'm sure. Yes, so actually the plan is, you're spot on, Dash. The plan here is to finish out this course because I just need to do it. So I think over the next like 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how sidetracked I get, because we made like no progress today. I've got 30 minutes left in the stream. We will go through, I might not do the whole abstract class thing just to make it a little faster. But I want to finish up this course over the next, my goal is by the end of March, and then film it all, and the filming it all will be off stream. And then after we're done with the project, I will come back and start to recreate popular VR games. And so I want to do a, like, how to make Into the Radius, how to make Gorilla Tag, how to make Lone Echo, basically recreating the mechanics from all those games, I think would be really, really cool. And so that's the general idea. And then eventually, once I get, the idea is to recreate, teach until I get to the point where the YouTube channel and the course and everything is funding my, because I still work at 9 to 5 right now, is funding. So maybe in a year, maybe 2 years, however long it takes, is funding my life basically. And then I will start making my own game, because then I'll have, I'll have a confident amount of income that I can like live off of and spend a decent amount of time actually building a game. So my 9 to 5 will then swap from my current 9 to 5 to actually building out a game. And then I'll probably just stream that too. So like 8 hours, 10 hours, 14 hours a day, building out my own game. That's the general idea. Because I've worked on games before. So I've worked on Sail VR and I've worked on Tactical Assault VR, which are games on the Meta Store right now. But I have not, and then I work right now for a VR company that is making B2B stuff. But I haven't actually made like my own published game. Yeah, similar to Game Dev Guide. That's the idea. Because I think he's like totally, well, no, he still works for another company, but he's like doing it on the side. How much do you think Ian's game is generating? It's like top 20. Yeah, all right, let's go look at Ian's game. So Ian in our group, let me find him. There we go. Where's his other post? Yeah, so Ian has created Walk the Plank. It's on the Meta Store. And he was not too long ago in the top 20-ish of best-selling games that week. And so usually the way I do this, so he has, I just moved myself right into the way. So over here on the side, he has 4.5 stars at 551 reviews. So let's bring a calculator out. So we've got 551. Usually I will multiply that by 110, and then his game is selling at $3.99. well, it's on a sale, so it's normally $5. So we'll do $5. So we'll multiply this. No, multiply by 4. Nope, that's not 4.99. 300K. That might be a bit. So this is not including. So usually my factor is 110 on the Metastore. I'm not sure if it's different or not. But well, it might not. It's probably not that much. And then you also have to take into account like, okay, well now he's also paying 30% to the store, and then he also has done sales and stuff. So it's probably not. So we could probably do 551 times. Nope. 551 times. So it was 4.99. Let's assume most of his sales came from, or most of his sales. So 551 times 110, and then we multiply that by, we'll do 3.99. All right, and then we multiply that by 0.7 because Meta takes a 30% cut. And then this is something he released in December. So it's been 3 months. So this is estimated revenue based on my 110 factor, and I have no idea. So yeah, this is me figuring out that figure 1 and 11 people not give a review, but will click like on the star. So probably less will actually like type out a review, but we'll click on like a 1 to 5 star review. That's the idea. It could be different, but overall still doing really well. Highly recommend trying this out. So like the whole concept of this game idea was the walk the plank game is similar to another game called Richie's Plank Experience, which has been, it's the game that everyone always shows their friend for the first time whenever they try out VR. It's literally just one. I think they've come back and like updated it. Nope, it's literally just one environment. You get this like city environment, and then you can do a paid DLC for a second environment, which is like some canyons or mountains or something. And there's like this like stupid like a couple like mini games that are like really not really worth playing. They're not. It's like very very tiny mini games. But this game goes for $15. I'm in the way. It's right here. $15. And so the idea was, let's make something for like a third of the price, and then it's a game you'll play once, or if you go and like show your friends, then it's a lot of people's first game. So so that was the idea, and it's doing very well because now like Richie Plank didn't have a competitor. There was no other game that like had this weird fear of heights kind of thing that was like a good VR experience, and so he made one, and here we are. But yeah, so this was a fun little experiment. And then he also released another game that was, what was it called? Go over to Classroom, into the Wall of Fame. He released 2 games last year. Panic Room? Yeah, he released Panic Room. So it's kind of the same like fear theme there. But this one has like spiders. There's a horror movie scene. I think there's like something else. But you can like kill the spiders with like bricks and a nail gun and shotguns and that kind of stuff. But I've not played that one because I hate horror, especially VR games. Yeah, and I think he only made Walk the Plank in like, I think it took him like 2 months to build this. because it's, you know, it's one environment. You walk out on a blank. So there's a few extra, you know, things in there. You gotta, you know, get the optimization and the environment right, music and all that kind of stuff. But do you think that free games that are addicting with in-game purchases make more than one-time purchase games? So Monkey Doo Doo, another game made by someone in the group, is a free-to-play game. And so this has 110, or it has 10,000 reviews. I think it's been downloaded like 900,000 times. He's posted his numbers before, so his name's George. This was like a small team of people who made this. But I think they made like 400,000, 500,000 off of this so far. And so it's free to play, and then you like buy different skins and stuff. And honestly, with most of the clientele of the quest being like kids who are 10, 12, 13, this is gonna be a lot more popular than and this is like kind of that gorilla tag-esque game where you move around with your hands. So that's gonna cater towards the younger demographic, and so that kind of in-game sales will absolutely does well, for sure. Does Unity take a fee if it makes a certain amount, or am I imagining anything? Yes, so Unity does take a fee if you make over $1 million. So they used to have some weird runtime fee, and there was a huge debacle like a year or two ago, and it was like every time your game is installed, we're gonna charge you like, you know, 10 cents or something like that. And can I get to coding? I do need to get back to that. But yeah, Unity was gonna have this whole debacle, and they ended up canceling it, and now it's like, I think it's like 2% over $1 million you have to pay Unity. So you don't actually have to pay them until you like hit $1 million. So all right, let's actually code. We're an hour and a half into the stream. No Sleep Kid is trying to keep me on track, and we've not really coded anything. So we're doing an abstract class, which I think should work. We got the socket, entered, exit stuff, and then that means in here we can delete the muzzle, and then you'll notice that we are still accessing the muzzle, but we don't reference it inside of this gun behavior class, is because we're referencing it over here. I'll zoom in a little bit more for you. And so that's the beauty of this inheritance. So this like :gun means we're inheriting from the gun class. And so we don't need the socket. We don't need the muzzle flash. We don't need the inserted mag. And then we also don't need start. We don't need any of these methods that we're already calling. Yep. And then inserted mag is private right now. We need to make it protected. We make all these protected, which means you can access them from inherited classes. So it's not just private. All right, so, and then the only thing we're doing in here is shoot, and then we need to define shoot. So we'll do private, and then we're also gonna make these virtual. Private, virtual, void, shoot. I think it's virtual, private, virtual, or is it private? Oh, there's another word. What is it? Abstract. There's another word that means this can be created underneath, but I can't think of the word. This is the thing, like someone was talking about like learning C#. It's the words. Like what other word can I put in here that will allow it to like be inherited, but I forgot the word. But we don't actually want to define anything in here. So we'll just go here. Private. Should I just mark it as abstract? No. Abstract. Oh, yeah. Okay. Protected. Actually, this can be public. Okay, so yeah, we'll mark it as abstract, private. I don't think this one can be abstract because we are defining it. Okay, yeah. So I think it's virtual, and then we'll make all of these protected, which means they can be accessed from outside. Oh yeah. So it's protected, virtual, and then if we want to override it over here, so like if we're actually adding in, we do public override. Shoot. And then, right, what is the copied stuff? So we're not going to have any copied stuff. Oh, we do. Okay, so this can go here. So shoot is, we are going to define it because we want to check to see if we have a mag first. So it's not going to be abstract. It's also going to be virtual. And then up here we do shoot.base, or we do base.shoot, which will basically call the function. So do base.shoot. So this base.shoot runs this code first, and then we'll go back here, and then it'll finish running it. So we're basically adding to this method in the other class, which is pretty cool. But it prevents us from having to rewrite all of the like magazine checking behavior and all that kind of stuff. So all the stuff we wrote in the last stream, we don't have to rewrite, because now we can just go over to the physics gun behavior, and all we have to do is inherit from gun instead. And then down in shoot, it's going to give us a warning. So here it's underlining shoot, and it's going to say the keyword new is required on shoot because it hides the other method, which basically means, okay, we're inheriting from gun, which already has a method called shoot. So we need to use the word override, so we're going to use the word either override if we want to add to it, or new if we want to create a whole new method. And then we're going to do the same thing. So base.shoot, which will check to see if we have a magazine added. And that should be, and then we can actually delete the muzzle, because the muzzle is already defined up here. And then I think that this can be protected too. This is going to be a protected serialized field. Okay, cool. I think this should all work. And then now we just need to go and actually make the socket and the magazine with the other. See you, Levi. Thanks for hanging out. Well, you multiply by 110 on the Metastore. It was only 35 times on Steam. Yeah, I don't know, maybe 35 would work. I want to convince Ian to do a post-mortem and actually like kind of show under the hood of like how much he made, because I think that would be super useful. I need to see if I can get him on an interview and do like a little podcast kind of thing, because that's the last number I heard was 110, but it could be less, it could be more, depending on how often Meta like asks for the rating. What's up, Loxicon? Welcome back. What you been working on lately? Are you actually working on a VR project too? Or are you just hanging out? But yeah, gamer, that's what I heard. That's what I've gotten. So Meta doesn't really care if you copy a game idea. No, not really. Because yeah, we were just talking about the walk the plank game, which is someone in our group literally made a duplicate. It wasn't a duplicate. So Richie's Plank Experience, it's been around since 2017, I think, is when this came out. Or this is just the standalone version, so I think it came out 2019. Yeah, so this has been around for 6 years now, and no competitors. And it's kind of expensive. It's $15 for like a game you can really only play for 5-10 minutes, because it makes sense if you're going to be the one who's like carrying your headset around and showing like 10 of your friends, and they each play the game like, you know, the same sequence over again for like, you know, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. But it doesn't really make sense as like you personally to own the game, and so it's kind of expensive for that case. So over in the other side of the world, so Walk the Plank actually, so I searched Richie's Plank, and this is another reason he named it Walk the Plank, is because people will search Richie's Plank and be like, oh, this one is only $4 versus this one is $15, and it's almost the same thing. So we're gonna go click on this one and buy this one. And so he published this one like literally on December 24th, Christmas Eve, last year. And so it's only been around for a couple months, and it's been doing very well, because it's cheaper. Yeah, you are an old school early adopter, so like yeah, game ideas aren't copyrighted IP like art style are, though. Yeah, so well, actually, in art style, like art stuff will go out of copyright as well. So like you can publicly use like Winnie the Pooh, the character. You can use the bear because the story's old enough that you can use it, but you can only use a particular version of it. They have copyrighted Winnie the Pooh with a shirt on. That is copyrighted by Disney, I think. But Winnie the Pooh without like the iconic red shirt, you can use, and so I think there was like a Winnie the Pooh horror game or something that came out not too long ago. And I think it's the same with like Mickey Mouse, like the Mickey Mouse character. I think you can do it as long as he's not like wearing an iconic, like the red pants or something. I don't know, but yeah, there's like certain rules like that. You can't copy art and like characters and music. But yeah, like game ideas, like, oh yeah, free reign. That's why Nintendo will sue you if you use any of the Nintendo characters, but you can copy the game idea, like, you know, basically mechanic by mechanic, and like they can't do anything. Any AI art makes you feel like a scam or abandonware? Yeah, right now anything that's like, and since it's very obvious that something was made by AI, it just seems scammy. Like someone's just trying to get a quick buck. They don't actually care about the gamers, and that's the biggest thing. It's like, do they actually care about the players, or are they just trying to make some money? And that's the biggest thing. I think this next kind of era of human civilization is going to be all about authenticity. Words are hard. Like, how authentic are you as a human being? Because that's going to be so much more and more important, because AI is just going to be like, there's going to be so much more trash on social media, so much more just AI generated code and nonsense and whatever, like everywhere. So like, how authentic are you as a human being, and like relatable and that kind of stuff? And that's what people are going to start to gravitate towards, because they're going to see like all the generic, you know, trash that everyone puts out, because it's all going to be AI generated, and AI is just the average. So Lexicon, you have one. It's some kind of tower defense with Twitch viewer elements. But I've hit a wall because my perfectionism kind of paralyzes me. I don't even like my own prototype. So they do say you should publish even while you're still embarrassed to get some feedback. It doesn't have to be published to a lot of people, but you should at least show. We were talking about this earlier. I don't know if you're here for it, but like kind of the alpha beta process. So you should publish an alpha with you've got a demo, so at least get you know, 5-10 people, like your friends who you know, send them the build and get them to like give you feedback on it, because that may help you improve it too and be not so embarrassed about it for the next iteration, the next version. You don't have time to do much because you're focusing on other hobbies like 3D printing. 3D printing's fun. 3D printing is kind of like a you set it and forget it kind of thing though, right? It takes a while to do those prints. And you don't like to work on stuff alone, you like to work with other people to build stuff and share ideas and stuff. Well, if you're more of an artist or a programmer, you should pick someone who's the opposite. We were also talking about this earlier. Do a game jam, and then the people who you do a game jam with, if you like them, then get them to like work on your project with you. It's a good way to like get extra people. All right, so I think we've got, you want me to rename this, don't you? I don't want to rename it. It's fine. I think everything here is good. We just need to go set up the other gun in, yeah, and then we can actually work on the thing that I titled the stream at, and it's working on the pump action part of the gun. So we basically just need to copy this gun's setup, which if we look inside, it has a mag socket, which actually I'm just going to Control C that, and it has a mag, which we're going to want to replace. But the mag socket is really what we're after, and so we'll need to set that up over here on the physics gun. So we need a socket interactor. Our muzzle flash is gone because we were messing around with that, so drag and drop the particle system over there, and then we've got a projectile prefab or shoot force. Everything's still good, perfect. And now we need a socket interactor, so we will Control V that there, and then we want to grab the refill. This is what we want. So the refill, we're going to pull that out. We're going to copy the transform from the refill, because this is where the socket's going to go. So we'll copy that component. Socket gets dropped right there. Beautiful. And then we don't want this magazine. Take that out. We're going to drop the refill. That's what we want inside of here. And then we want to convert this refill into a prefab, because it's going to be its own mag with its own rigid body physics and all that kind of stuff. So we'll drop back out of here, and then we want to basically just copy the, where'd you go? Copy the refill, paste it, not there, but like just outside of everything here. And then this is going to become its own thing. So we want to create a child, which will create a game object in its same spot, same position, and we'll name this mag 1 because this is gun 1, just so we can sync up. We don't want to be able to put mag 2 mags into the other one, or we could make them interchangeable if we wanted to. That could be cool, and it wouldn't be very difficult to do, but that's the next step. All right, so then we're going to swap these out so that the mag, I like to have my prefab separated, so there's one parent object that has like the rigid body and the behavior scripts on it, and then underneath we have separated graphics and colliders. So this one has both of them, so we'll duplicate it and we'll rename one to graphics, GFX, and then we'll delete the collider off of it, and we'll rename this one to physics and delete the graphics off of it. And I do that just so we can come back later and just replace the graphics if we need to. So like if this was a published piece of art, we can come back and swap things out. You always thought streaming late was good, but you just Googled it, and peak time is 3 p.m. Eastern and spans to 7 p.m. Huh? Yeah, so that's 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern is gonna be right when it's like after lunch. People are like kind of getting a little groggy, but still working, and so they'll usually like bring up a stream to like listen along to while they're working, and so that makes sense. That would be an ideal time for like US streaming. Are there any 3D artists in here that don't like programming? You love backend and you hate front end. That's kind of the position I'm in. All of these models, so these guns are a free Synthi asset pack. The mountains and the booths and everything are 3D models that I paid a designer to build. Her name's Christine. And so I am not, anything that I make is either going to have a contractor who made the 3D art or is going to be a 3D asset. I honestly think it's a little bit easier to be a game dev if you're programmer minded versus an artist minded, because if you're an artist, you can make really, really cool stuff, but you can't make it do anything. So it's hard to turn it into a game, versus if you're a programmer, you can just go buy a $50, some $50 art asset and then put it into your game. And it still works, it's still fun. So I think you have the easier side of things. What's up, Beer or Die? Oh, you just got off work, now you have to drive. On the plus side, no ants on you today. That is good. What do you do for work? I guess you work outside with somewhere with ants. I wouldn't think there would be ants. It's like winter, right? There shouldn't be ants. Yeah, you butcher stuff from the free stuff from the asset store, but nothing looks good together. Yeah, that is the issue. That is why a lot of people will use the Synthi assets packs, even though they're super expensive, is because they all work together. So you can use the Elf asset pack with the Apocalypse asset pack, and the art style is the same. The theme might not be the same, but the art style is the same. So it all looks good together. So if you find a publisher with you work in shipping, so you're shipping a box of ants. That's what was happening. The ants escaped. Where were we? We were making a magazine. Okay, so this is gonna have a rigid body on it. Also, we want the physics to be convex. Yep, we've already got that. The layers magazine, the tag. I don't think we need a tag. All that looks good. These layers don't actually need to be. Yeah, we'll leave on magazine. Don't matter. So we've got a rigid body. We're gonna change this to yes, interpolate and continuous dynamic, and then the mass can be 1 kilogram. Sure, that's fine. Everything else looks good, and then we'll add a magazine behavior script here, which will automatically add a grab interactable, which is perfect. And then this. I think since this is the physics gun, like projectile gun, we'll make this magazine velocity tracking, and so it will have a physics element to it as well. And then we will do a dynamic attach, and then we want a near attach mode, so when we grab it, it will automatically come to our hand, which is beautiful. And I think everything else should be fine. And then the held layer mask, we need to add a new layer, so we're going to add a mag 1 layer. Even though these are backwards, that's going to drive me insane, but I'm not going to change it because we'll have to go back and change the layer mask for everything. So held layers is going to be default and mag 1, and then the grab interactable interaction layer is default, so we're leaving it at default. This is the like the setup we did so that the gun wouldn't automatically reload if you like dropped it on top of a mag instead of like grabbing the mag and putting it in there. So we only swap the layers to the correct layer if you are holding the magazine with your hand. That's how we're doing that setup there. And then that's a smaller magazine, so we'll do 4 bullets for this one. We'll see how that does. And then we'll make a prefab out of this. Inside of here, so this is an interactable mag 1 prefab, and then we will delete this, go back into our physics gun, delete the refill, and then drag in mag 1 into the socket there. One more thing we need to check in the grab interactable is we don't want to retain the parent transform, which will give us some weird physics, so we want to apply that to the override, so that way when we take the magazine out and drop it on the ground, it's not gonna keep trying to move with the gun, because that would be weird. All right, I think that might be everything set up. And then inside of the gun physics, we just need to specify the socket. There we go. And then this socket is set to, needs to be set to mag 1, not mag 2. And then the attached transform is itself. That's good. Okay, cool. And then this mag 1, we can reset the position and everything, so it is all set up in there. And then we want, in the socket, we want the starting selectable to be mag 1. Okay. And then we won't, so on the other one, it's turning blue whenever we like come into that range, and we don't, let's do it differently this time. So this time, instead of turning blue when we, this one, like the show interactables mesh or show interactable hover mesh, we're gonna uncheck that. We'll do hover socket snapping. So we'll snap to the object. If we get within like half a meter, it'll automatically like bring the mag in. We'll try that out, see how that goes. Try to show you all a little different stuff every now and then. And then we'll grab a couple more magazines out here. We'll need at least 3 in case I'm bad. So we have 4. So we assume that you just miss an entire magazine's worth. We might need to assume more. We'll have 4 extra magazines over there. And then this one will have 3 extra over on that side. Cool. And then this game is really shaping up. We need to do pump action. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get pump action today. We're gonna do that next time. Let's try this. All we did was abstraction today. Got so carried away. All right, let's give this one a shot. Let link mode start up. Keep bumping that. Come on. Wake up. It is there, I promise. My computer exists. I did go and I got a new link cable because my other one had been run over by my chair too many times, and so it was just shorting, and so I would plug it in and then I would hear doo-doo, 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 doo-doo of like my headset connecting and disconnecting over and over and over again, which was not good. And it was really hard to actually like push any builds to the headset if I needed to. So we'll turn link mode off, the air link mode off here, because for some reason we're having an issue. All right, come on, meta, not this one. We want link. Wake up. It's so close, like I can almost read the screen. They just needs to be a little bit better. I could read the screen and we could actually have fun. I could wear this all the time. I did see someone snowboarding with this on. I wonder what the frame rate is like. Okay, this isn't working. Restart. Power options, restart. There we are. But yeah, I saw someone snowboarding with these, and they had like an augmented reality like snowboard game going, and so they were like, as they were going down the hill, they were trying to hit like the markers and stuff, and it actually looked really cool. Looked really fun. Or hanging out, check on the stream healths everywhere. See if anyone needs heals. If you're on YouTube, you should like the video if you haven't already. Just so it shows the VOD to people is basically what happens. Nothing happens while I'm live. So Twitch, so the current streaming meta, based on the research I've done, is you stream to Twitch and YouTube mainly, and then you can stream like other places. Like we're streaming to X right now, but I have no idea if people are watching, if it's live. Am I live right now? Yeah. Oh no, it says it ended. Interesting. I think, I think X might have ended like right on the hour. Curious. Okay, my headset come back. That's what we're waiting on. Confirm my boundary. But yeah, the current meta is to stream on Twitch and YouTube. Twitch is like where most of the engagement happens, where you actually hang out and talk to people. Although for me, so far it's been YouTube. But afterwards, the VOD gets viewed a lot more on YouTube than it does on Twitch, just by the nature of the platform. All right. There's link mode. Sometimes you just gotta do a restart. All right, let's give this a shot. And then we might jump off here. We'll live to stream another day. And then if you weren't here at the beginning, I am streaming on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays now. So we're doing every other day, just because I want to film tutorials on the off days. Okay, so we can detach, and then if we get close enough, see, it will auto snap. Boop. There we go. It's a little far for an auto snap. I might go make that a little smaller, but we can go boom, 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 boom. Oh, we can still infinitely shoot, which is a problem. I wonder. Oh, I don't have a reset on the game yet either. I wonder if we can infinitely shoot with the other one too, because I'm suspecting that's an issue we have. What's up, No Sleep Kid? What did you eat? All right, can we infinitely shoot here too? Yes. Okay, so that is going to be an issue. Oh, what's going on there? What is this giant red beam that only happens when you're laying on the ground? What? Oh. Is it trying to say that we can't snap the ground to my gun? That's a weird bug. So when I put my gun on the ground, it thinks that we're trying to snap the ground because the ground is a teleport area, so it's an interactable. I think it thinks we're trying to snap the ground to the gun, and so it's giving me like a big no red like marker on the entire, it's just the whole ground. Mac and cheese mixed with peas? Why would you put peas in something so beautifully delicious? Peas are the worst. Ugh, gross. I didn't actually ever feed my kid peas either, because me and my wife both hate peas. All right, so we've got a code error, and this is because when we do base.shoot, we're going into the gun, and then this is doing an if statement, but we need to return actually inside of this. But the problem is we're returning. So we need to have like a can. This needs to be like can shoot. And then this will return false, otherwise it returns true. And then we need to return a bool there. And then we'll have a public abstract shoot void shoot method. Okay. And then this will just be a protected can shoot. All right. I think that's how we're gonna do it. And then inside of here, instead of doing a base.shoot, we're just actually defining the shoot method. So that's fine. Well, what are you complaining about? Okay, yeah, we do need to override it. Okay. And then we'll do if can shoot. Or if we'll do a not, and then we'll return early if it's false. There we go. So if we cannot shoot, we're gonna do an early return. That's how we're gonna do this. Because we abstracted out, we're not able to like do an early return. So instead of doing base.shoot, we'll do can shoot. If can shoot, return. Return. There we go. All right. And then we need to feed. That is also something that this inserted mag.feed. So we'll actually subtract the bullets. Okay, cool. People don't eat mac and cheese for its nutritional excellence. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the most nutritious meal in the world, even if it does have peas. Oh, I would say I've been doing my eating schedule so far is I will only eat good if I have like a really, really good schedule and I eat the same thing every single day. Or at least mostly the same thing. So I'll have eggs and bacon in the morning for breakfast. And then I'll have a chicken breast, air fried chicken breast, because I never remembered to thaw it out. So I just air fry it. So I air fry it for like 10 minutes and then I'll fillet it, cut it in half, and then air fry it until it's finished. Just so it's not like raw in the middle still. And then for dinner, it's like whatever my wife ends up cooking. But I have to have like that like protein in the morning and for lunch, and then it basically allows me to like eat whatever I want for dinner as long as the portion size is reasonable. Because I'll have gotten enough protein because I'll eat like about a pound of chicken breast for lunch, and then I'll have like 5 eggs plus bacon for breakfast, and so that's like 50 grams of protein plus like 100 grams of protein. And then as long as dinner's like, you know, I have some kind of meat there, some kind of protein with dinner, I'll have like a solid 200 grams of protein, which is ideal for someone who's, you know, I'm just above 200 pounds. And so, you know, you get 1 pound of protein per pound of weight is the idea there. Subscription, is that, it's not a subscription, it's just it's Costco. So I guess I pay $50 a year for the subscription. And then I go to Costco and buy like a 10 individually vacuum sealed chicken breast. Gridstone, you're gonna just end up making a horror. You just need to make a horror game to get it out of your system. Okay, so also something else I was running into is the gun layer was still interacting with my player. Oh, I think that's because I never actually tagged the player. That's awkward. This guy is ignore raycast. I want you to be a player. Just this object. Yeah. Okay, that's why I could still like touch the player there. And then what to do about this weird socket issue. So we don't want invalid sockets showing up, I guess. Keep selected target valid, show interactable, hover. Okay, so I guess we don't want invalid meshes showing. Then we just need to uncheck the show hovered mesh. Interesting. Okay, I guess that's fine. And then inside of the gun physics, we will reduce the socket snapping radius to like, no, that's not reducing. 0.1 is the reducing. There we go. And then we should have a magazine count that actually does count and go down and not let us shoot. And then we'll eventually add a click sound. We'll eventually do pumping for the pump action. It's not gonna be tonight though. I'm already over my allotted stream time. All right. Come on, work. Yes, most of game development is just adding layers and tags, but forgetting to set them. Yes, I feel that. All right, physics gun, 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha! So that works. And then grab the mag. That came out smoothly. Put a fresh one in. Boop, boop. It even kind of rotated. That was cool. I don't know if you guys saw that. So if the rotation's not quite right, it'll like kind of turn into it. It feels like I'm like screwing in the. Yeah, that's cool. It feels like I'm like screwing in the bottle, which is exactly what I want to happen. Nice. This is really cool. It feels nice. It feels really good. Like I could see like, you know, doing the normal like pistol magazine thing, like sliding it in, like that it would snap pretty well. Sweet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. And then if we like try to put in an old one, oh, it did shoot once. Interesting. Okay, let's see. It does the particle effect once. That's not supposed to happen. I don't think it's actually shooting anything though. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it does the particle effect, but it doesn't shoot out anymore. Okay, cool. And then the other check was, can we walk with it next to us now? Yes, we can. Beautiful. And then this one, walk with it next to us. Hey, keep the mag. Yes, beautiful. And then you don't show a big red thing and when I put it on the ground. Sweet. Cool. So I think that's the next is the pump action. So we'll do that Saturday, and we've done everything to lead up to it. Oh no, it's not firing axes. We are firing. Let's look at your axe. So we've got art, models, the axe. So we'll generate light map UVs, apply that, and then I don't think I have materials for it. Did you send materials over? I don't think I have materials. No sleep, kid. Were you wait, let me go back and read. You've been watching videos recently, got interested in VR, wanted to get your advice. Should you learn C++ or how to start? How do I learn VR development? Is YouTube and then VR courses enough? Yeah, no, I wouldn't. So the language you learn is going to depend on the game engine you use. So Unity uses C#, which is the language we've been coding. Then Unreal Engine uses C++, and their like blueprint node coding system, like the no code visual scripting. So my recommendation for VR is to learn Unity, learn C#, and then I will be putting a lot more tutorials out. I've got a super basic how to get started video that I posted like 2 weeks ago that I would recommend watching on my YouTube channel. And then I would go and follow Dilmer, who's a really good YouTuber. He's stays pretty active and like up to date on tutorials and stuff. He kind of bounces around. He touches a lot of tech, and he's a much better programmer than he is a YouTuber. I say that as someone who doesn't have as many subscribers than him, but like all of his videos are a bit chaotic, like the amount and like type of videos he puts up. And then I would follow Fistful of Shrimp, and I would also follow Valum, are going to be the kind of top people to follow as far as like YouTube videos for teaching VR development. And then just make projects. You could join the VR Creator Club too, so that'll give you a little more in-depth stuff. So there's a link to it anywhere else. CodeMonkey has a really good free C# course on YouTube. Yeah, that is good. Yeah, but do a shameless shout out of like my VR Creator Club is going to be probably, like the whole idea is it is the best place to learn how to make VR games. So it's like a fancy Facebook group, and then you've got a classroom, and then inside of here I literally teach you how to use Unity, what are all the panels, how to get started, and then a whole C# section where we build out a whole like dart throwing game, and then there is this, basically what we're doing now is we're rebuilding this section, the XR Interaction Toolkit, and then there's a whole multiplayer section too. So once you get into a little more advanced, Valum built out a multiplayer section, and then we even teach you how to publish it and then how to make a living off of it. And then there's some like extra stuff like Blender and asset downloads and stuff. So ideally this is the one-stop shop for you. And then if you have questions, we do a Q&A every Tuesday, like a live call. You submit questions, and then I can answer as many as I can in a Zoom call. And then if you actually publish your game, we add you to the wall of published devs. So this is all the people who have published games, and this is like basically like your game is up on SideQuest or the Metastore at the moment. No sleep, kid. Bro, what? You're just mad that we're not coding. No materials. Okay, I've got materials. I'll throw a material on there. Simple colors. Oh my, if you're hearing beeping, that is the baby monitor is running out of battery, which is also telling me I need to go. Cool. We'll wrap it up there. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. So next stream is going to be on, your kids want to play Minecraft now. Minecraft's fun. I am excited for so he's 2, he turned 2 in January. And then we have another one on the way in July is when she's due. So boy and a girl. I'm really excited for when they get to the age where they can like start playing games and stuff, and I can like start playing with them too. I am excited for that. No sleep, good. He's like, don't hang up, please. Yeah, of course. What have you been gaming? Yeah, come try it out. Peaceful Chaos, what's up? I think you're joining us at the kind of the end, but yeah, follow the YouTube channel for sure, and then join the VR Creator Club, and you can we'll help you out. Don't stop, don't worry. I'll be back to thank you, Beard or Die. I'll be back on Saturday. We're gonna be finishing out the guns. The last part we need to do, so we've got magazines reloading. Last part is this little like pump action thing. Both of the guns have a little like pump action dealio, and so we'll code that in and do some actual animations. So it'll animate out and in. It was a one-time purchase for people who originally got in, and then so now it is $19 a month. So it's a monthly like club, and then it's you get a 7-day free trial too, so you can jump in, see if you like it. Oh, thanks for the follow, Bilo. We just in this stream we crossed 30 followers, which is I think is the number you need for Twitch affiliate. So we'll see how that goes. I think I need to stream more, but I think we are hitting an average of 3. We got 7 people in Twitch now, and then we've got 10 people on YouTube. Maybe I need to push my hours back a little bit. I feel like we've got a lot more people joining all of a sudden. It always on my graph chart, it always like ticks up kind of around 9:30 is the people who are watching. Twitter, for some reason, their stream died. Oh, you need 50? Okay, we'll get there. No worries. Yeah, the affiliate is like I'm not like rushing for it, because do they add ads to your Twitch streams before you get to affiliate? Because if not, I may just wait on affiliate for a little while so people don't see streams. Also, I worked on this game, Tactical Assault VR, and we got into the top 13. We were actually pretty consistently in the top 13 of top selling this week on the Meta Store, which is pretty fun. That was a fun game to work on. I worked on it like most of last year. It was like me and one other dev, the guy who like started it. It's 5:26 a.m. for you. Where are you? Who all's just waking up right now? Is that like over like East Asia, Japan and whatnot? Yell some more. Okay, so it's no ads until affiliate. Maybe I'll hold off on actually getting affiliate until it's more of a decent amount of people, and then and then when I'm like about to make the jump into like full-time income, then I'll do affiliate. I don't know, I'll think about it. But also like the appeal of not even just ad revenue, but able to like have subs is cool. But we'll get there. Lebanon, you just haven't slept yet. 5 a.m. and you have not slept yet. That's wild. You should probably get some sleep. It would be delirious if you've been just like partying up all night and you're like, I have to go home and figure out how to make VR games. That was what you were thinking. That's what's on your mind. Oh, you've been watching my vids for years? That's awesome. Well, I'm back. I took about a 2-year break on YouTube, and we are back now. So, not to worry. Yeah, I ended up having a kid and going back and I tried doing just YouTube for a year, and I did like a really, really good right when I launched this course. And it like, did what you see in game sales too, where it's like this huge spike and then it just kind of like dropped off and then wasn't making me enough money. And then after about a year, I ran out of money and had to go get a job. And so about the same time I had a kid, and life just got crazy for a little bit. And so it's been about 2 years. The kid's 2 years old now. I've got another on the way, and we're back. I've got my life in order a little more. Money's a little more in order now. Still got some debt I'm paying off from the original attempt at being self-employed. But working a 9 to 5, and I do the streaming, like this 2 hours, 3 hours really, because I always end up going over. Is really like the only time I have to either make tutorials or work on stuff. And so I am kind of double dipping by streaming, because then I get to hang out with you guys, talk about, stuff, and then also normally I'm productive. Today was not productive. I was very scatterbrained today. But yeah, it kind of double dips, because I can pull from this and like make YouTube shorts and that kind of stuff too. Thank you. There's a VR game you've been wanting to build, but you suck at code. The code is the main problem. Oh, well, there was somebody else in the stream earlier who was really good at programming, but bad at the art. So maybe you guys should link up. That'd be a good idea. Usually it's like, yeah, programmers need an artist, artists need a programmer. Join a game jam. We're doing a game jam in the VR Creator Club in March, and you can find someone there. And then if it works out, just go make a game with them after the game jam's over. Cool. All right, I really gotta go. I haven't figured out rating yet, so that is one thing I've been meaning to figure out. Let's see. Let's do if any of the people I'm currently subscribed to on Twitch are no, it's either Dungeons and Dragons, Gran Turismo 7, or Uncharted 4. Those are it's 3 streamers doing 3 separate things. Those are the only 3 people you could raid right now, so I'll just let you go find the next stream. Cool. I appreciate all of you for hanging out with me. We'll be back on Saturday. 2.5 hours earlier from now is when I start. So I'm doing Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then I'll see you next time.